Hey everyone, yesterday I posted on Instagram this post and I thought it might be a good idea to make it a tutorial because it's very easy and it looks kind of cool. So we're going to be using xParticles, xpShatter and xpExplode in particular, and we're going to use that to shutter the eggshell, and the liquid we are just simulating, we're just downloading from Sketchfab any of the mesh liquids, and then we're texturing it with Redshift. So let's look at it and do this together. So what we can do, we're gonna start with sphere and make it like 35 segments and maybe change it to hexahedron, and go to coordination tab and change the Y to like 1.5, yeah, something like that, X to like 1.15, and a little bit on the Z as well, and that will give you like egg-like shape for size because it's hexahedron, so you can easily apply textures in this. And so we commit to that. I'm just gonna save it. I already did save project as Easter egg YouTube tutorial, and now I'm gonna get rid of I'm gonna go to filter work plane. I don't need to see work plane, and we're gonna add plane as well. I'm gonna shift it like that, put it behind and press T, enlarge it. Okay, so that's our egg here. Now the next step would be probably we can straight away go to camera, put it like super tele, so 300, and then I'm gonna hold Alt and with my right mouse button just gonna push back and then just center it. I can go to my settings and change it to 1920 by 1920, just so we get a little bit higher quality rather than 1080 to 1080 for our Instagram post. I'm gonna position our egg a little bit up because there's gonna be some movement all the way up, so something like that. You can always turn on your guides. So if you go to the camera, you can go to composition, and then you can do golden spiral, you can do grid, so you can really play with the composition this way. But for this one, it's just gonna be very simple, and we're gonna keep it something like that. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this off for now. Turn on the IPR. I'm gonna bring in our material. So go Redshift, material, and put it on our sphere. Just gonna save it again, because you don't know, I crashed this so many times. I've created a new material. It's called Dragon Egg. I don't know why, don't ask me. And you can download this pack. There is the 10 materials that you can plug yourself. It's just textures, so you can use them. There's some fabrics, there's some kind of stone material, so it's gonna be Easter egg surprise. So if you want, you can download it, and it's on my Gumroad. So let's go to 3D assets. Let's go to substance materials, and I have this 10 materials here, and there is a material called Dragon Egg. So I'm just going to take all these textures and I'm going to show you straight away how do I plug them in. Quite a lot of those, so I'm just going to organize them. Normals, metallic, so normal and height together, those are the similar thing. Base color, ambient occlusion, specular, roughness, opacity, and metallic. So base color can go into diffuse color, and ambient occlusion, I recently found out that you can put into overall color. And then specular level, it would be your reflection color. And so you don't need to combine ambient occlusion with base color into, but for more control, obviously you can. So I don't know, prove me wrong if I'm doing it. I just read it online that you can put ambient occlusion into overall color. And so roughness goes into reflection roughness, and opacity goes into overall opacity. And then metallic, reflection, metalness. And that will be part of our texture done. Now we just need to go to utilities, bump, and bring in bump map and blender, bump blender. So the normal map goes into the bump map texture input, and I'm gonna check the bump map and change it to tangent space normal because it's a normal map. So normal map into bump map input, it's a normal, and that we're gonna plug in our bump blender as a layer 1 input 1. And then the height map, so the height texture goes into the bump map, again the same texture input, and height field is correct this time, so height into height field, and that will be into layer bump input 1. So go into bump blender, just increase it all to 1. I used to do it just half, but I guess it doesn't matter. You just, send it in fully, both. And then this blended texture, we're just gonna put into bump input. So that's our bump done. And we plug in successfully all the textures. I have 9 more materials in that pack, so if you want to download it with this project file, then I recommend you to just go to my Gumroad and download the Easter pack. It's going to be free for a while, and then I'm going to put these textures into a much larger pack that will be paid for. So whoever wants to download this now, you can really do that. So we've got that, and I'm quite happy with the look, but we need some lighting. So I'm just going to bring in our light, Redshift dome light, and we use our photo studio from HDRI Haven. Right, so that's good. I'm going to reset our camera. So you go to camera coordination and just put 0, 0, 0. So 0 that out and hold Alt and just kind of bring it back. So now I know that there's no rotation involved or such a thing. So we can also lock the camera. So once we know that this is it, we can go to our camera and go to rigging tags and protection. And now I cannot move the camera at all. So we can save. Okay, so now I'm gonna bring next step of this, and this is gonna be our Voronoi Explosion. So I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna use xParticles for this. So whoever has xParticles can use it. Who doesn't have xParticles, then you can use the normal Voronoi fracturing. So xpShatter, just bring in xpShatter and put the sphere into the xpShatter. So what you can see, it's immediately get fractured, and I can increase the fractures by increasing the number of points, because each point be generated. So you need to go into general and add emitter, so it will generate emitter for you. And now if I go back to object, I will be able to explode it, because before I couldn't make it to, to kind of separate it, to explode it. And it was because of that there was an emitter created for it, because each fragment will have particle assigned to it, so that emitter driving actually that explosion. Okay, so we've got that, but one of the thing is it looks like a rock explosion, which I have to say it's looking rather cool. I'm gonna increase our light and maybe gonna move that egg a little bit in front, but if I go to the xpShatter, you see that mode is in volume, which we don't want. We want surface. So once we change it to surface, I'm going to reset it again. And then go to the explode. So if you see the explode is now, it's just the shell. So that's what we want. We want just the shell of that egg, but we don't want the... we don't want to use this explode because it doesn't give us too much control. So I will increase the points to like, well, let's say 450. And then I'm going to bring in another tool, and it's called xpExplode. And what it has, it has field. So it will allow us to control with spherical field only the part of the egg we want to explode. So if I'm just going to let it explode like this, press play, you see we already getting the place where I was before. I'm just going to increase the size of that. Wow, that's a lot. So just going to bring it, just fine tune this. Yeah, something like that. So I'm still seeing inside. Now I'm going to bring in another sphere. And this time I'm just going to go icosahedron and increase a little and decrease the radius. So I increase the segments and decrease the radius. And that's going to be our yolk. I'm going to bring in material, Redshift material, and put it on our sphere. So I should start naming these probably. Sorry about that. This is going to be our eggshell. And this is going to be our yolk. Yellow. And I'm just gonna change it to orange yellow, just for the, it was expensive egg. It's the proper organic yolk. So I'm just gonna let it explode. I'm gonna turn off the IPR just to let it run properly. So I kind of like it at this point. So that's kind of good explosion. So I'm just gonna work on this frame. I'm not gonna commit it to connect it and export it as a mesh. For now, I'm just gonna leave it like that, and I'm gonna work on this. The next thing I did, I think I can increase the roughness a little on that yolk, and not too much, just 0.2, just so it's not reflecting so much the lighting as well, but it's still nice and shiny. And the last thing I did, or not the very last thing, was the liquid. And I used the one, I'm just gonna find it quickly, just so I don't have to. Okay. I used the one from Sketchfab that you can download quickly. So I didn't want to, spend time. I was just about to head out, and I want to work on that. So I'm gonna bring that liquid from over here. Just gonna generate that explosion again, and bring in that liquid. Increase that. I'm gonna put the link for that liquid, even for the artist who is the author of this liquid. Just gonna put it in the description. Okay. So turn on the IPR, and if we go into that material, you can see that I'm basically, what I did, it's tinted glass, and then I just put transmittance into 0.09 and slightly yellowish, because it's not completely white. Egg whites are egg yellowish, and that will create that kind of a effect of so we can play with that splash now, and that's basically it. And then one more thing I did is to apply the texture. So I went to Photoshop and bring my trusty pen, my new trusty pen. I'm still exploring the working with the display pen. Oh, I'm crashing. No. So make it dark. Actually, I don't even need to make it dark. And we're gonna say, we're gonna go with the brush. Okay, step on HKA. That was super original. I'm actually gonna do it like that, and then I'm just gonna export it as a transparent PNG. Actually, that's gonna be the fastest way. So, and then go back to C4D. Maybe turn off the Photoshop because they don't like each other. Or they do, maybe. Okay, so I have that, and now I need to apply into that actual material. So I need to go into materials and bring in our texture. So I'm just gonna go textures, plug in into our, no, I'm not gonna plug it yet. I'm gonna go to that textures, HK drawn, and do the step in HKA. No. And then we'll bring color splitter. And I'm gonna put it into the input, and the alpha, I'm just gonna put into the opacity color, right? And that will give me, if I plug that into the material, that will give me that step on HKA. And because we did it in such a way that it's a hexahedron, it will have, you know, step on HKA on this side, on this side, on this side, on this side. It's almost like a cube. So all I need to do, I need to now blend these together. So I have this, I'm gonna have this white color just so it's contrasting with the eggshell of that dragon egg material. I'm gonna bring in Blender, and into that Blender, I'm gonna put eggshell as a base color and plug it back in. So nothing has changed. And then this is our texture, transparent PNG, and we're just gonna put it in a Blender as a layer color 1. Nice. And that alpha, that's a blend color. Okay. That's pretty good. Cool. So we've got that egg, and then I think one last thing that I did was the, it's always the one last thing, right? Area light, and bring it up and just shine it from the top, just so I get some more light into that liquid. Just a bit higher. Right. Nice. That looks quite solid. So I'm just going to render this, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and feel free to download this project file plus 10 materials as my Easter thank you for everyone subscribing. We just reached 900, and I'm really pleased that you guys supporting my channel. And let me know in the comments if you want to see some stuff more. And I've been doing past 2 tutorials, xParticles and some texturing. So I'm hoping that really it's something you guys after, because after my polls on YouTube, I've been you guys let me know that basically xParticles and texturing is something that you want. So that's what I'm after. Let me know in the comments, and thank you very much for watching. See you next time.